to our first episode of our podcast, Uncovering the Truth. This is where we talk about AI and the ways that it may deceive us and how we can basically uncover the truth about AI. So, today's topic in our first episode, we're going to be talking about the use of AI in schools. So, this is going to be just kind of a conversation. We're going to introduce ourselves first. My name is Meghna. I'm a current high school senior. We're both in Texas right now.
My name's Christopher, and I'm a high school sophomore.
And so we're going to be talking about some research we found and our own experiences as high schoolers, how we interact with AI, how we see it being interacted with. So yeah, let's just dive right in. So the first topic we're going to be talking about is probably the most prevalent in school
Definitely.
settings. Yeah, cheating and how people use like AI to cheat and how teachers use AI to regulate the cheating. So some of the research we found, fun fact, apparently 47% of people said they had used chatbots for fun, and 42% said they use tools to summarize content, which that's not cheating necessarily, right? Like using AI to summarize things, I feel like, well, you could argue like if you're supposed to be reading part of a textbook,
Yeah.
that you know you should be
You should
actually read it.
But
Yeah.
of course, things like SparkNets have existed for a long time.
Right. So like
It really depends on the intent of the
it's
usage.
not necessarily just an AI thing. It's people do stuff like this all the time. Another piece of information we found was
Arguably more concerning than the previous one.
nearly 60% of teenagers told, from the Pew Research Center, told interviewers that students at their school use chatbots to cheat very often or somewhat often. So that's concerning.
Definitely.
Apparently, the report said that teenagers think that cheating with AI has become a regular feature of student life, and I definitely see that within our school experiences as well. Like regularly, you'll see students being like, "Yeah, I use ChatGPT to do this assignment," or "I just put all these questions into ChatGPT." Like
Absolutely. In fact, the other day, our English teacher, my English teacher, she was telling our class about how AI usage on class assignments have gotten so high that she has had to take our notebooks and check them to make sure that there's no AI content. And it's just concerning that teachers have to spend their time not teaching us, but making sure that we're not using AI to, I
Yeah.
guess just cheat.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, even especially with all the prevalence of these AI cheaters, teachers have to spend time like trying to combat this, and that can be very time consuming and energy consuming as well. Um, people like people just always use AI as like an easy cop out. I feel like. Um, I mean, it's hard to do that for things like multiple choice tests. Cheating has usually been for multiple choice tests and like stuff like that with like cheating off of someone else or like using your
Yeah.
phone under the desk or something. I don't know. I know my one teacher has had to like move from computer test to paper test because she believes that it'll be harder for people to cheat, which I do get. Like technology does make cheating a lot easier, but I feel like AI is more used for like written assignments, which
Definitely.
I feel like is like an evolution of cheating. Beforehand, you would have students cheating all the time on like multiple choice stuff and tests, but as AI has developed, now people can actually cheat on like essays and stuff, which you couldn't really do before unless you like paid someone
Yeah,
to
but-
write your essay for you.
Mm.
But yeah.
It's really made cheating a lot easier, I think. And I think that's the biggest problem with this because AI, it's not like it's not like cheating was invented by AI, but rather AI made it so much more easier. And it's definitely ruined school life in some ways.
Yes, it definitely expanded the scope of cheating.
Mm.
Oh yeah. With the introduction of ChatGPT in the November of 2022, some surveys have indicated that 70% to 80% of high school students and 50% to 70% of college undergraduates have cheated on assignments. So yeah, this definitely shows that same concept. Also, one example of how I've had a teacher kind of try to combat this. A while back, I think sophomore year, in one of my classes, we had to read this book, and my teacher like made special care to tell us like this book is not on SparkNotes. You can't find it anywhere. You gotta actually read it, right? Um, and obviously AI was kind of new back then. It wasn't as prevalent as it was now, but it was kind of shaping up. ChatGPT was, starting to develop. And so she basically tried to combat this by she basically put the book she it put a prompt into ChatGPT like asking it to like do some kind of analysis essay kind of thing on the characters of the book, and she like shared with us in like an announcement, and she was like, look how wrong it is because the book like mixed up two completely different characters. um, yeah, so AI is not always accurate, and at least before this was in like 2023, so it definitely has developed and become a lot more accurate, but you know you can never fully trust it more than your own self, right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, the fact that a teacher went out of her way to like completely like use AI to like show us how AI is bad, it's I don't know, I just find it really interesting.
Mm. It's also concerning too. The fact that she felt the need to do that in the first place. It really shows how AI is becoming more and more pervasive.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's cheating. Obviously, is very. I feel like most people agree that using AI to cheat is not a good thing.
Mm.
But now let's move on to a topic that's a little bit more nuanced. Using AI as a thought partner. So this is basically the idea for those that don't know that you can use AI not to like come up with your answers, but to kind of discuss with as like a friend. Like you might talk with a classmate about like I'm thinking of doing this idea for my essay. I'm going to structure it this way. What do you think? And basically the idea of you're treating ChatGPT as that like other classmate, right? Um, but yeah, let's dive right into this. Uh, so some sources have indicated, there's this, so Khan Academy created this AI chatbot called Conmigo, I guess like amigo, yeah, portmanteau. So basically, this combines the Khan Academy library of information with ChatGPT to provide accurate and reliable AI-powered tutoring. So very similar to like using AI as like a fellow classmate, like a tutor, a helper. Um, having that. And I think that could definitely help, especially like increasing accessibility for tutoring to those who may not be able to afford it otherwise. That would be very helpful, I feel like. You just have it at your fingertips, especially if it's free. I'm not sure though. Usually AI, like stuff like that is blocked behind a paywall, but I'm sure it's cheaper than like real
Than
tutoring.
like hiring a real person.
Yeah.
And it's also like notable that using an AI tutor or just a tutor in general, it's been associated with like lower stress in academic workloads because you're able to understand the information better. You have someone to help you digest it with you. But that also connects with another problem. AI is not always 100% accurate. What if the information that you're digesting with AI is not quite true? What if it's perhaps in direct, like, what if it's contradicting your textbook?
Yeah, that can be definitely a big problem, especially with like, I guess okay, you've got like the more mathematical fields like math science, where I feel like the information is a lot more objective.
Yeah.
So like AI is probably a lot better for that kind of stuff, but then for if you're in like English, like a humanities class, or like let's say you're even in like a psychology class, I'm sure that can be a lot harder to have AI be accurate because it's a lot more, I guess, human, and it's a lot more nuanced than just like this is the right answer.
Definitely, it's more
And
subjective.
yeah, and even like different teachers have different styles that they prefer, so all of that can contribute to like having AI be a little bit more inaccurate. But yeah, let's see what else we got here. Right, another like benefit to AI, using AI when you're like as like a classmate that you're working with when you're doing your work, it offers like instantaneous and detailed feedback, so you can like reflect on your strengths and weaknesses without having to, you know, get someone else, like a teacher. What if a teacher's not available at that moment or something? You can you can instantly review what you need to work on, and it just makes things a lot easier to learn in a more productive way, I think.
Yeah, definitely a lot quicker.
Yes, especially if you don't have good study habits already, it can definitely help you develop those study habits. But yeah, now let's move on to our final subtopic within AI in school, and this is going to be AI for research slash studying. So like unlike the previous one where it's like working with AI to talk about your assignments, this is like just to learn basically. So there's benefits and drawbacks. Let's start with the benefits. Students using AI for research, it offers, like we said before, personalized learning. So like you can quickly see your strengths and weaknesses and how to improve. Efficient study tools. So like there's a lot of topics that you might not be able to find quizzes for online or any other resources like that. So it can definitely help for that kind of thing. Again, free slash low cost academic support. Like you don't need to pay for ChatGPT to like help you with any study you need to do. And then another thing is career guidance. So this is for I guess usually older high schoolers or
Yeah.
I mean I guess you could do it when you're younger too, but like asking AI for advice on like your goals and how to get to them. I know for me personally, my dad is like obsessed with ChatGPT, and he's always like putting in like colleges and like what to do once I'm in college in order to like get a good job, and kind of sending me that advice. And it can be like really good specific advice, which is really helpful. So that's a good thing about it. And then, do you want to go over the teachers?
Of course. As a teacher, it would be much easier for teachers to use this to help them automate some, well, like paperwork, some administrative tasks that don't necessarily help the students and kind of detract from their teaching, which allows them to have increased productivity. And it also allows them to assess students better because instead of having to grade every single student for every assignment they do, they can use AI to help parse things through or even give students AI and allow them, as we mentioned earlier, to use it as a personalized study partner to help them, to help them grade, really.
I think
Well,
especially for like multiple choice or like more like obviously for essays and stuff, it might be better to have a teacher grade it.
definitely.
But for like stuff like that, if it's like a paper but it's multiple choice, having the AI grade it. For something like calc, because we do that on paper, but it's like it's math work. We have to write out all our work. Having the AI grade that, I feel like would be helpful so that you can get the grades in faster versus something like an essay.
Of course, that's more for like progress checks, right? You wouldn't want to do an actual assessment using AI as a grader because you want to have a human in that process.
You don't want to like accidentally have anything go wrong.
But if you want like students to have more practice opportunities, I think AI would be a good way to help them
like
get
offering
it faster.
it for like to offer it as a tool for more practice. And then teachers can use AI for research as well, like to continue learning. And honestly, for everyone, you can use it as a resource. So that's really nice. But yeah. Now let's go into the drawbacks, because there are definitely some. So number one is a concept known as AI hallucination. So it's basically a phenomenon where AI generates like a very convincing, and it's like it makes sense, but it's like it's wrong. A response that is, it makes sense in a vacuum, but it doesn't like work with any context or like the actual situation itself. So AI can like basically make things up. It's I've experienced this a couple times. So I'm working on this project. I'm coding a game basically, and basically I'm asking ChatGPT to help me like fix any bugs because it's really difficult to sift through everything myself. So it's a lot easier that way. But sometimes it's like it gives me suggestions for something that either I already did or like it's wrong. It's completely wrong. Like this is not what's wrong with my thing. My code is this part of this is fine. Like you're making this up. So yeah, it's definitely like factually it can get stuff wrong sometimes. It's not completely perfect. But yeah.
In fact, in English class, we're using something called School AI sometimes to help us do our PBAs or our essays so that we can get instant feedback. And sometimes the School AI bot is really insistent on us doing citations, despite us having already done the citations. So it'd keep reminding us to cite properly, even though our citations are there. So, like, it's a contextually coherent thing, but it just doesn't make sense because, well, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely a source of frustration. Another thing, oh yeah, so you know how whenever I'm researching for like a research paper, let's say, sometimes if I can't find sources myself on like Google Scholar, I could use ChatGPT, kind of like Wikipedia in the way like I use it to find sources, and then
Like a
those
search engine, right?
yeah, like those sources are the ones I'll use, but like I use it to find these sources. But according to this one study, out of 178 references generated by ChatGPT, 69 were not DOIs, and 28 references did not appear in Google searches or have an existing DOI. So it offers sometimes really good articles, and then sometimes I guess it offers nothing, like something that doesn't exist or something that's not reputable.
Yeah.
Because remember, it has, especially with ChatGPT, it has such a big library of information. Like you don't know what it's using. It could be using something that's incorrect.
And it's also important to remember ChatGPT, it doesn't think. It's a text generation bot. It predicts what next word's supposed to be, or at least what it thinks it should be. So all of these things that it's generating, it thinks that it makes sense, like contextually, coherently, but as mentioned earlier with our examples, that's not always the case. It's not always true.
Yeah, there's definitely some complex like cognitive processes behind that, but definitely the way AI works is very different to how human thinking works. And then the last thing we'd like to bring up is confirmation bias. AI has a really big tendency to basically like reaffirm whatever a person's existing beliefs are. So like if
Automated yes men.
yes, if you're like talking to AI and it basically tells you something, you disagree with it, and you say that you disagree with it, they'll often like just say, "Oh, sorry, you're right."
They'll change their tone immediately.
Exactly. Like even if they still disagree with you, they'll definitely like make it very like they'll make it in a tone that's very like subservient to you, I guess. So yeah, this definitely can be part of like a wider like internet phenomenon of like echo chambers and,
Yeah.
you know, just staying in your own kind of zone. But yeah, so overall, AI in school, I think there's definitely some good applications for it, especially like bringing access to more like study tools and academic resources to people who may not otherwise have them. Because like we live in a pretty privileged area where we have so many academic resources at our disposal, but there's definitely other places where people would definitely benefit a lot more from getting these academic resources from AI.
Definitely.
But then obviously there's also a lot of drawbacks, like having these inaccurate responses or like cheating, obviously. And I've even seen some teachers using AI to create tests. Like
That's pushing it, right?
that's really pushing it. Like you don't want to do that. But yeah, overall, I think AI in schools can be a very complex issue, and it all deals with how we apply it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for listening to episode 1 of Uncovering the Truth, and see us next time in our episode 2, where we will do an interview with a teacher about AI in schools. Thank you.